Life, really an abstract concept that took the material form of a body. My body. The physical structure, including bones, flesh, and organs. Maybe these are just words in a dictionary, but truly they are a sensual life experience in my body, especially in the present moment. In my body, I am. I am alive, I am strong, I am present, I am served, I am carried, I am empowered, I am entrusted, I am seen and heard, I am protected, I am guided, I am supported, I am nurtured, I am full and I am whole. The liberation of my soul is experienced through my body, and for that I am grateful. Welcome to episode 10 of Meeting Myself, Embodied Healing.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back and tuning in. If you're new, welcome. Please look around. There should be a red subscribe button somewhere there. Tap on it, join us, and let's meet myself. In today's episode, as you have seen on the thumbnail, I wanted to speak about embodied healing. How I wanted to look at this topic is really how I literally embodied healing, like how I worked on healing my relationship with my body so that I could feel good in it and perceive it well and appreciate it, and also just have it serve me in the best ways it can. So without wasting time, let's get into it. So the first thing I have on today's agenda are definitions. I chose two words particularly that are, I guess they are important for this conversation, and I found definitions for them. So let me just give them to you. The first one is embody. Embody, be an expression of or give a tangible or visible form to an idea, quality, or feeling. So the idea of health, the quality of health, and the feeling of health or healing is really something like I am learning to embody. I think I even want to say I'm embodying it already, but I think life is like a life, healing, health, embodiment. It's literally, I think it's a process. It's not an image, a specific moment or a stuck picture. So embodying health and healing is something I intend on doing for myself, to myself, as myself for the rest of my existence. I feel like even like based on like the responses I've been getting on from people based on how they perceive me, I am kind of really embodying the healing, embodying health. The second word that I decided that I wanted us to define is healing. Healing, the process of making or becoming sound or healthy again. Yeah, there's really not much to say about that. I feel like we're consistently in the process of healing. I think the experience of life itself is continuous healing, like literally. And I'm not mad at it. I think the concept of healing itself it proves power, it proves magic, it proves process, it appreciates the concept of time and the experience of time. It literally for me defines existing well, like being able to play between dark and light is really healing for me in my perspective. So a pain, a wound, a a skewed perspective, a limiting perspective, healing that is changing from that darkness and finding light specifically in that, and letting the light grow and, you know, what do you call it, illuminates? I don't know, I hope that's the right word. But yeah, there we have it. Embody an expression of or okay, wait. Embody, be an expression of, or give a tangible or visible form to. Healing, the process of making or becoming sound or healthy again. So the second thing on today's agenda is why I needed to embody health. I wrote points down and I'm just gonna go into them after I read the point. So the first point is the experience of being viewed as my body, which some people would perceive as fat or wrong in some way. Like, people would mind that my breasts were big, too big. People would mind that my body was just big. I remember my mom would like sometimes say to me that, like, I know you're a child, but when you go out there in the world, people look at your body and they see a grown up. I would be shopping with my cousin sometimes and I would feel like not finding sizes. I feel like society itself perceives your body as wrong just by mere fact, like when you experience not finding a size in a shop, or clothes being so tight that they don't fit. That is kind of an exclusion. That is literally society saying, well, you're not fitting what we can provide for. And I guess like that experience of how my body was being perceived, I internalized it, and it made living in my body not the best thing ever, and perceiving my body not the best thing ever. It felt disheartening in most ways. Getting advice on, like, I remember as a child literally being told by one of my aunts that if I wanted a flat stomach, I would have to like suck in my stomach all the damn time. Like, and I took that seriously, and I literally I lived life sucking in my stomach because I didn't want to have a big stomach that was flabby, because society doesn't like that. That's not cute. What's cute is a flat stomach. So I guess like my whole experience of myself, of my body, wasn't fun, wasn't nice. I perceived so much limitations. I knew how I wouldn't jump when I was at the gym because I didn't like how my boobs like were big and were jumping. And like, imagine like living in your body and just not liking it. I'm saying imagine it, but I know there are so many people going through this. So I internalized negative views on how I expressed the appearance of my body. I would only pose a certain way. I over-identified with my sex appeal because I really like, I have an ideal shape. So even though I didn't like my body because it was big, I at least had a shape. So I over-identified with my sex appeal. I always centered like external perspectives in terms of how I dressed, because if I just dressed, God forbid, how I just wanted, maybe something is too short for the type of thighs I have. Like, people would just have random opinion. I think I remember being very mad at my cousin for just really thinking she knows what sits on my body better and how I should like center her perspective on how she sees me over how I feel about myself. Like, people were so confident. I feel like when you're big, people are so confident to tell you what looks better and how you look good so much, because like, I guess because they perceive you as not good, and then as like not looking good, and then express that, and then you internalize that, and then they feel comfortable giving you advice, like they are helping you with an insecurity that they literally poured into you. So like, I had that kind of experience. So also, like I mentioned, the gym, like some things that I would do, some physical activities, I always felt shame doing them because my body. I thought my body was the thing holding me back. When we'd go, like my cousins would like suggest we go do some physical activity, like maybe going to the West Cliff stairs, and like I'd always be like behind, because they have smaller bodies and they are more fit and they have better relationships with their bodies and with physical activity. I always felt shame doing those things and in those activities, because my relationship with my body wasn't that great, and it was showing in terms of how I was partaking in the activities. And like it really sucked, and it's really why I found the need to embody healing. The last reason is that I needed to feel good about myself despite people's views. I wanted my views on myself to feel more valid than those others had of me. I didn't want to feel shame when I engaged in physical activities with other people. So that's really the main reason why I felt the need to embody healing. Yeah, the next thing on today's agenda is how I started to embody healing. What did I do? Like, how did I go about embodying healing? I have points on this one as well that I will read and maybe go into as I go. The first point is that I accepted my body as it was, not as unhealthy. I didn't look at my body. I didn't look at my body and say it was unhealthy. I didn't. Not as fat. I didn't look at it and see it as fat. I didn't look at it and see it as needing any form of change. I looked at it and said, it is my body. So I accepted my body as it is, as it was, as it will carry on to be. And what is my body? My body is literally the thing that you guys see me through, literally the thing that the vessel that's carrying me through this life, the vessel that's nourishing me, the vessel that's allowing me to experience pleasure and just all the broad spectrum of the human experience. That is my body. It's not fat, it's not unhealthy, it's not wrong in any way, you know. So that's literally what I decided, and I accepted my body for what it was. And then I rejected any views or advice on how it could be better. Like every time people had opinions on my body and their opinions were to better my body, I would reject it, because nothing was wrong with my body. My body was fine. My body is fine. And I made it clear, like, I remember when I started going to gym and people in my family were like, oh, so are you losing weight? And I was like, nope, I just want to be healthy. And people will dismiss you as if your goal is to be skinny, because generally that's what they want to sit with. They want you to not like your body, and they want you to want to be skinny or small. And that's legit not what I wanted. It's literally not what I wanted. I wanted health. So I remember like literally saying to people, no, I just want to feel and be healthy. I joined a plus size modeling agency, which just made me feel so valid in the body that I was. And then I started acting lovingly to the body that I have. What that meant was listening to my body. Literally, what it wants to do, I would do. My body loves yoga. Yoga does more than, like, it does magic for more than just my body and my joints. It even helps me clear my mind. So I started to do yoga, and I also like what yoga looks like. I like the aesthetic of yoga. So I started to watch YouTube videos and do some yoga sessions alone at home very often. And then I started hiking. I really enjoyed being in nature. So I started doing that more often. And then I learned about, because I feel like I went on this craze about, like, I think even on my TikTok, how I started my TikTok, I was saying that my core message on my TikTok was fuck white supremacy. And so I started, like, when I started to really hate on white supremacy and really learn what it was and the beliefs that it had imposed on society, I learned more about how we are conditioned to view different sizes of bodies. I I realized that I had internalized fat phobia. I unpacked where the disdain for big body was rooted on a societal scale, which is in white supremacy. And then I educated myself. I unlearned those biases. I learned to validate. I remember like I had quite specific disdain for plus size people, guys. Like I felt like, and this is because you internalize, I had a negative views of my body and of being big, so much so I would like literally not like people who were standing for body positivity and who were plus size, because I would say stuff like they just promoting being unhealthy. And little did I fucking know that that was me projecting. I felt unhealthy. I thought those things of myself and of big bodies. So I unlearned those things. I unpacked those things. I learned where fat phobia was rooted, and how oppressive it is. And I don't know, I feel like I've let go of it. But then I just think like if you're in a place of privilege, because I don't really have a big body anymore, and I think that is a place of privilege, it's still very easy for you to have blind spots and not really fully grasp the experience of other people. And also when I had a big body, I had an ideal shape. My body was big, but it was acceptable in some ways. So I literally opened my mind to see that other people were having it worse, for having different shapes, for having big bellies. And like the main thing for me is that there was just too much. There was a lot of like fat on my body, and that was, I don't like Operation Olympics, but that is a very, that experience compared to someone who has a heavy upper and a lower and a lighter lower body, the experience I had compared to that person are so different, because society literally is very specific about what bodies are acceptable, from size to shape, you know, whatnot. All these cultures literally have beliefs that are limiting and oppressive on people based on just how they present, literally how they are. So I unpacked all that stuff, bro. Like, and it wasn't even like, I don't want to lie, it wasn't like I went to go buy a book about fat phobia. No, I listened to fat people more. I listened to myself more. I entirely ignored people who thought they know all about health. Literally, like, I remember I was seeing this man who was a Herbalife dude. He like was serious, man. He had muscles and whatnot, and he was like toxically fucking positive, like, you can change your life, have it. That's when I knew that this thing of centering your physical appearance, it has toxicity. Like, especially when you have an acceptable body, you start to feel invincible and better than people and like stuff like that, and those, I started to see those traits in people who had never experienced discrimination on the grounds of their bodies, or who had over-identified with the privilege of having acceptable bodies. Then because I saw that and I found that sense in them, the toxic positivity, I literally started ignoring them. I wouldn't listen to small-bodied people about getting a body to be small, about styling a big body. Like, I just wouldn't. I'm sorry, cut. And then another thing that I started to do was going to gym. I told you I was going to gym. I started going to gym. I started like really like listening to my body and being aware of it, like setting goals and seeing, Haibo, my body can do this, Haibo, I can do this, Haibo, I'm good at that, and just literally building like positive feelings inside about myself and my body and what it was capable of. Yeah, so I started to feel good about my body because I was at gym and I was like I was just doing things that I never thought I could do. You know, I didn't grow up an active child much, and it was never like a thing at home to be physically active, like to go do something. Never ever for no one, until maybe I watched my sisters when they were now grown and old. They had gym memberships and they would, like, it was a cool thing then. But growing up, my parents never at all centered physical activity, even for themselves. If we're being physical, we were cleaning and that was literally every fucking weekend. So I guess, like, because they had consumed us with other things, the idea of like just literally relating to your body and having a relationship with your body was never a thing in my home. I was never taught to have a relationship with my body. So going to gym started to create a relationship. I started to feel good about my body intentionally, and actually it wasn't even intentional. Like, I started to feel good. Like, I'm saying this in hindsight, that like that's when I started to feel good about my body and being in my body. And it showed. I started to like post proper, like, I started to take like pictures of me really embracing my body and sharing them as they were. Yeah, and then another thing that I started to do is that I started to make small dietary changes. Again, this was also to see what my body actually liked and what my body actually needed, and if the things that I had been giving to my body this whole time were at all a request from my body, you know. So the small dietary changes were like, I remember I stopped drinking coffee for a year. For a year, but I'm back on coffee now. I cut sugar. I stopped putting sugar in anything. Like, I wouldn't add sugar in my coffee, wouldn't add sugar to my tea, wouldn't add sugar to anything. If I had anything sugary, I would find it in the fruit or whatever. It wasn't hard at all, actually. I decided that I'm gonna like acquire taste for a bitter coffee. Yeah, so I cut sugar. I decided, like, I saw my cousin do this and I decided this is cool and it will be easy to do. My cousin would literally drink water with most of her meals, and I started doing that. Like, every meal I have will be followed by water, because I just wanted to increase the amount of water I drank in any ways that didn't require me to like be extra. So meals came with water. I never bought like cold drinks and juices like that. Even at home, I never had it. I just, if I'm eating, there'll be a glass of water next to me. Right now though, like, I don't always do that anymore. I do give myself some cool drinks, some juice every now and again. Yeah, but like, I got to see my body and what it's capable of, what it's willing to do, what it can do, what I can do. I also got to see that I have options. I don't always have to be drinking so much sugar, you know. I don't. I actually do enjoy drinking water. I actually do enjoy proper green tea without any sugar. I don't drink coffee with sugar right now. Sugar inside my coffee literally sucks, which is wild. Which is wild. But it's a change that I've come to embrace, and like, I'm proud of. That's why I'm talking about it. And then the last thing I did is I detached from outcomes. Not even consciously, because I had accepted my body. So my going to the gym, my cutting sugar, my unlearning like the fat phobia, it wasn't so that I have a smaller body or so that I'm skinny. No. Like, it literally, I didn't care. I was just embodying the lifestyle that I wanted to live. I was just getting in relation with my body and building a healthy relationship with my body. And my body has been literally saying thank you to me in so many ways. Like, I can't even tell you guys. So many ways. Like, there's ways that it's been saying thank you for the changes and the work that I've done on perceiving myself and relating to my body. But I've also become like aware of how much, even when I didn't care for my body, that when I didn't like my body, when I ignored my body, when I was ashamed of my body, it was doing so much for me. It was doing so much for me. It was literally bringing me into the world. Like, it was taking me to my classes, it was learning my work, it was doing my work for me, it was hugging my friends, it was giving me rest at night. Like, it was doing so much, it still is, that like it just didn't make sense to not appreciate and give it the love that it deserved, because it was giving me so much love, you know. So yeah, I detached from outcomes, and like I said, not even consciously. So I'm as shocked about what my body looks like now as anybody else in my life. Like, I also was like, hey, boy, I don't know what's going on, to a point where I was even worried that, like, what if the changes are to a point of me not liking them? And then, like, now I'm just like, I don't think that will ever happen, because my body is just looking like the relationship I have with it. Like, it's looking just healthy, it's being healthy. I think clearly. When I run, breathing is so much easier than it used to be for me. Like, literally what my body is like is a direct reflection of the relationship I have with it. And if I carry on having a good relationship and an accepting relationship, a respectful relationship with my body, why would it hate me? It won't. I think there are a few things that I didn't mention that that came into my lifestyle. I started smoking weed. Yeah, so I smoke weed. I don't know. I can't even tell you how regularly. At some point I would have said daily. Right now I can't say that. But yeah, I started smoking weed. Also, I just toned down on sex. Literally, I stopped like engaging or sharing my body with people who just saw me as the body, you know, who saw me as my shape, or as, I don't know, whatever. People who just saw me and saw me as a body and not as a person, which is most people in this world anyway. I stopped engaging sexually, I stopped engaging energetically. Like, I just stopped taking energy from people who weren't feeding into mine and were sucking from mine. I just cut it out. I just stopped. Okay, and then I think this is the last thing on this agenda. Yep, it is. What does it mean to embody healing to me? I wrote points. It means to view my body from a healthy, unbiased perspective, as an autonomous vessel. My body is its own being for me. Like, it's I am not my body. I have a body and I respect it, and I listen to it, and I engage and I relate to it, and I just perceive it as an autonomous living being. And I think that's healthy. That is how I've decided to embody healing. The next thing is I listen to my body and what it tells me it needs, be it food, the kind of food, to release an emotion, to be in nature, to rest. It tells me a lot when I listen. It tells me a lot when I listen. Sometimes I really do be craving like a sweet treat, and who am I to fight this body? It wants to sense. It wants to enjoy the sensation of a sweet treat. Sometimes I want to run. Sometimes I want to dance and just release emotions, you know, and be in the moment. Sometimes I want to sit still and be in meditation. Sometimes I want to cry. Sometimes, there's just so many things that my body has told me it wants to do, and that I let it do, and I do with it, because that's a relationship, right? That's how you relate to something, by listening to it and taking in and giving just as much as it gives me. And then to act lovingly towards my body by serving it as gracefully as it has served me. So my body is not a burden. Ever, 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 ever. I never view my body as a burden. I used to in certain circumstances. Now I'm always like, shock me body, let's see what you can do. Like, I remember just deciding to go on top of the roof at home the same way I used to as a child. My brain was like, you're big, you can't do this. And I was like, let's see. And I just walked up to that thing. I started going up and my body took me up. It took me all the way up. So like, I act lovingly towards it by being encouraging, by minding what I eat, like being very aware of being healthy towards it, giving it healthy food, and having a diet that is balanced, that is whole and well-rounded. And then lastly, what it means to me to embody healing is to feel good and grateful to have and to be in a body. This, I think, is literally the definition of body positivity. So yeah, that's literally how I embody healing, and that's my journey in terms of healing my body and my relationship with it. And if I'm being honest, how I look and how I feel when I stand in front of the mirror is amazing. When I'm just not even standing in front of the mirror, just standing in the middle of nowhere, I feel full and whole inside my body because I love it and I know it loves me. I serve it and I know it serves me. I care about it and I know it cares about me. And I feel truly empowered to have a body, to be in relation with my body. And yeah, man, like I feel truly empowered, and that's like a big thing considering where I come from with my relationship with my body. I don't think I really had, actually no, I know I was never taught to relate to my body in any way. Like literally just people just project, people just literally dumped on me societal beliefs about bodies, and I don't think that is intentional or formal teaching of any living being or human in terms of how to relate to their bodies. I think that's just conditioning and just like simulation. You just like download me into the program of hating big bodies. So it's been good to deactivate the fat phobia. It's been good to pour the energy of love, care, hope, and trust and surrender and acceptance into this vessel that I have. It's been incredible because it's done the same for me, and also gone as far as to show me how much it was doing that even when I wasn't conscious or aware, you know. So yeah, that's that on today's meeting. I hope I don't know, I hope I inspire you to start being intentional in terms of how you relate to the body you exist here on earth in. To love it just as much as it has loved you. It loves you enough to keep you breathing, to keep your eyes open, to be watching this video, to have your fingers literally able to tap a like button. That's what your body can do for you. So I hope I'm inspiring you to think about what you can do for your body, with your body, how you can be in relation with your body. Not without anything. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you didn't, please again give it a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.